Charles?
Yes, ma'am.
12, how are you this morning?
I'm okay. I was trying to ask, was I in the right courtroom? Because I got a couple court dates this week.
What's your last?
Edwards, Charles Edwards.
I don't see him on how we got his.
We'll look it up for you, okay?
Thank you.
Do you have a case number or?
Give me 1 second. Like I said, I got a couple court dates this week, and I don't know if I'm in the right courtroom.
We'll help you figure it out, okay?
All right, give me 1 second.
Do you have a middle initial? What's your middle initial?
Middle initial was R.
Okay, that helps me. Rodney?
Ray.
Okay. Yeah, if you can get have the case number for me. I don't actually see anything in here for Charles Ray. That doesn't mean you don't have something. Name could be spelled wrong or spelled differently. So if you have a case number, that helps a lot.
No, I don't have the case number. I'm sorry. I just got the paperwork that they gave me from mom, just telling me about my court dates, my bond papers. I don't have a case number on here.
Do you know if it's a felony or a misdemeanor?
It should be a misdemeanor assault case.
Oh. Well, then this wouldn't be the right court, but we'll try to help you find it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
What's your birthday?
4/12/89.
Okay. It looks like you have a pre-trial tomorrow morning in front of Judge Austin Garrett.
No, okay, because on my paperwork, I'm sorry.
And that's via Zoom, so you'll zoom into Judge Garrett's courtroom. But that's for the 10th, not 9th. The day's the 9th.
Yeah, I'm supposed to have court today and tomorrow.
You're supposed to have court what?
I'm supposed to have court this morning and tomorrow morning because like I said, I got a couple cases.
All right, I just now found you, so give me a second. You do have a case today in front of Judge Bryant.
Judge Bryant?
Judge Bryant, today, Judge Bryant is in courtroom 339.
Okay, thank you.
But then for tomorrow, Judge Garrett is in courtroom 338.
Okay.
Good luck to you, sir.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Anyone else need to check in before we start calling cases?
Good morning. This is Kathleen Tulas. I'm here on Christopher Willis.
Okay, and Mr. Willis is checked in on Zoom as well. What did you want to do this
I'm
morning?
DeAndre.
Could I get another PCC? Could I get another PCC date? I do not have the discovery yet.
Ms. Bailey, the prosecutor's here if you'd like to speak to her about your discovery.
I will actually be able to get her discovery in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, so she's gonna get that discovery right to you. I will tell you that we are in January for out of custody exams. So I don't know if you want to set it for an exam. That gives you plenty of time. And if you have problems,
What's your name, sir?
DeAndre Cross.
Okay, we were actually talking to someone else. Could you give us one moment?
Oh,
yeah, so
That's okay.
yeah, if you want to go ahead and set that for an exam, if you have other concerns, you can always notify the court and we can schedule it for a motion.
Okay, let's go ahead and set it for exam.
Okay. January 7th at 9:30. And it sounds like Ms. Bailey's gonna be getting that discovery to you today.
Okay, sounds wonderful.
All right, so you're all set. You
Knowing
have a great
people
day.
left messages with no number or name.
Okay, thank you very much. Everybody have a great day.
John Johnson's people.
All right. I'm sure.
And when I went to visit, he said they blew up the phone. I said if they did it over the weekend.
Mr. Theas, you need to mute your mic. All right. It's quick call. Are you
Good
on?
morning, everyone. If you could please mute your microphones, that would be great. Also,
Versus different.
But
pardon me?
They say you don't have cases.
Grace, did you have a question?
That on the night. I don't know about the Calhoun County stuff. I thought you had for Detroit on the third.
Need everyone to mute their microphones. If you have a device that does not reflect your name, please take a moment to rename your device from, for instance, iPhone to your actual name so that we can identify you. That would be great. Also, again, keep your microphones muted. If you're not sure how to do that, take a moment, look at your device. It's fairly easy to figure out. Also, when you are speaking, I will need you to have your video up and running. So now would be a good time to, again, familiarize yourself with your device so that you know how to do that. Also, please make sure that you conduct yourself as if you were actually inside of a courtroom. That would include wearing clothes, having clothes on when you're addressing the court, and refraining from the use of any profanity, or otherwise conducting yourself in a manner that is not appropriate for a courtroom. You may find yourself in a waiting room. If that is the case, that's okay. We'll pull you in when it's time for your case to be called. And once Madam Clerk starts calling cases, please make sure the prosecutor puts their appearance on first. Without the prosecutor, we cannot call the case, and we'll have to pass on it. Nothing personal, it's just we need both prosecution and defense. So as soon as we've got something ready, we will start calling cases.
Calling parties on Patterson. Case number 2158270, the people of the state of Michigan versus Thomas Patterson. The defendant is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 2, weapons, felony firearm. This is scheduled for a probable cause conference.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Eric. The Bloomers, P77307, on behalf of the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Rachel Jordan on behalf of Thomas Patterson, P76222. Mr. Patterson is present by Zoom.
Please state your name.
Thomas Patterson.
Okay, so one more time.
Thomas Patterson.
Thank you. Counsel, what's your pleasure here today?
Your Honor, I'm either, and I'll defer to the court on this, either asking for a PCC or an in-person preliminary exam. I was retained on this case, but I have not received the discovery yet. Wasn't sure how far out you were sending your exams.
Well, we are on non-custodial exams. They're being set out, quite far because of our the pandemic's effect on the docket. However, with domestic violence allegation, I am pulling those a little bit closer. Are there any concerns regarding the bond that would affect the timing of setting an exam?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloomers?
No, Your Honor, at this time, the defendant is on a $100,000, 10% bond with a GPS tether, and the people are satisfied with that bond.
Okay, if we could have a date sometime in November or December.
Judge, November 3rd at 11 a.m.
That's good for me.
Okay, the in-person examination is going to be November 3rd at 11 a.m. So please keep in mind, Mr. Patterson, the expectation is that you would be inside of the courthouse, in the courtroom here, not on Zoom on that date of November 3rd. Please make sure you arrive in advance of that exam time so that you will have ample opportunity to pass through the security as well as any health screening that might be in place without being late to the exam time, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
It's also important, Mr. Patterson, that you adhere to the terms of your bond, which is to have no contact with the complaining witness, not directly or indirectly, no form of social media outreach, telephone, letters, text, chat, or even having someone act on your behalf. It's very important that you abide by that, and we will see you on November 3rd. I think you said you need discovery, correct, Madam Defense?
That's correct.
Yes, Judge, and as Ms. Jordan stated, she is newly retained, so I will get that with plenty of time for the exam.
Thank you, Mr. Bloom.
Anything further?
No, Your
Nothing.
Honor.
Okay, thank you. All set here. You can log off now, Mr. Patterson.
Calling parties on Lee, case number 2159024. The people of the state of Michigan versus Demarte Lee. The defendant is charged with count 1, home invasion, first degree, count 2, larceny in a building, count 3, domestic violence, habitual offender, second offense notice. This is scheduled for a probable cause conference.
Thank you, ma'am. Appearances, please. Prosecutor?
I have that as Mr. Bloomers.
It's a DD case, but I don't.
Oh, Jacob Bloom. People.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Burton Harris with the Neighborhood Defender Services of Detroit. My P number is P81843 on behalf of Mr. Lee. I do not see Mr. Lee present, and Mr. Lee does not wish for me to waive his presence. So if he's not in your waiting room, this matter is going to have to be recalled.
Okay, we'll recall it. I have not enabled my waiting room yet, so he would not be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just let me know if you see him sign in, and then I will recall it, okay?
Okay. I'll try to get him on the phone.
Okay. Calling parties on Darby. Case number 2056067. The people of the state of Michigan versus Franchelle Darby. The defendant is charged with count 1, unlawful imprisonment, SORA notice, count 2, weapons, firearms, possession by felon, count 3, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault, count 4, 5, and 6, weapons, felony firearm, count 7, domestic violence, habitual offender, fourth offense notice. This is scheduled for a probable cause conference.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Jacob Bloomers on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Harry Nihas on behalf of Mr. Darby.
Mr. Darby, please state your name. Counsel? Counsel? Are you
Yes,
with
Your
us?
Honor. I'm here.
Okay. Okay, so I normally make this announcement, but I was remiss in not making the fullness of my welcome presentation. Okay, so when cases are called, I need first for the prosecutor to put their appearance on. In the event that they don't put their appearance on, really is no need for defense counsel to put their appearance on and then introduce their client, because we cannot proceed without the opposing counsel, without prosecution. So that's first. After prosecution has put their appearance on, I need defense counsel to then put their appearance on, and then I need for your client to put their own name on. And please don't assume that this court knows what your client looks like, if they're in custody, if they're out of custody, if they're present, not present. If you could introduce that fact of whether or not they're there or not, that'd be great. If they are not there, I need to know, are you asking for the court to waive their presence, or did you want to pass, just like on the matter previously? I think it was Mr. Burton's case. He said, I can't waive his presence, so we'll have to recall the case. So I don't know any of those facts, so it's important for you to kind of supply the court, because I don't want to move forward with the substantive nature of the hearing without that transparency put on the record. It's a minor detail, but to me, it's a big detail. So with that being said, your client present?
I don't see him on the Brady Bunch screen here, Your Honor, no.
Ah, I like that. And so what would you like to do? Would you like us to recall this, or are you requesting to waive your client's presence?
Your Honor, at this point, I'd request to waive his presence.
So
I would like to schedule for preliminary hearing. I do caution the court. I know that the Third Circuit Probate Court had ordered a psychological evaluation of him while he was in the county jail. And I don't know that that has happened yet. And so I, in some ways, have somewhat of a conflict of a court above this one has deemed it necessary to evaluate if he's competent and if he needs to be medicated. And I don't have an answer to you if that has happened, but that calls into question if he's competent for these hearings as well.
have you had any communication with him recently or ever, really?
Yes, Your Honor, I've had communication with him.
Would you like
That's
to
what-
set this PCC so that we can find out what the status is of what's going on?
That's fine, Your Honor. I think that would be the best way rather than burden Mr. Bloomers with having the witness come in and police come in and then call it off because, you know, we don't know if if he's able to proceed or if I'm able to proceed.
Okay, so today's the 9th. How about September 9th?
Let me look, Your Honor.
Or you can pick a date, somewhere roughly 4 weeks out.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Can we do September 10th?
Sure. September 10th at 8:30 via Zoom. And it would be great if you could not only get at some understanding of what the status is of your client, but also if he could be present. That would be optimal, as I note that he was also not present on July 9th's PCC. I would like to see him. It looks like back September of 2020, he was present. So I do note that he has been here at some point, but it would be great if he could join us next time.
It would help us proceed. I'll give you that.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
I actually was going to bring that up myself. If the court, I guess, would require his appearance at the next PCC, because the people would probably seek to move for capias if he doesn't show up again. This case is kind of dragged on with the comp issue, and we've really been treading water the last few PCCs. You know,
And I agree. I'm going to, in fact, even with PCCs, the presence is generally required, but I'm pretty liberal with granting those, the waiver of any defendant's presence, provided there's some level of communication. But given the procedural history here, I agree with Mr. Bloomers. His presence will be required. I will not be waiving his presence at the next PCC. So please, in the event that you are able to establish contact, please relay that information.
Okay. Your Honor, if I am able to contact him this morning, would it be okay to come in this morning so we can get this going?
Absolutely. But if not, we have this date locked in, September 10th at 8:30 via Zoom. And if there's nothing further, bond will continue.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Lakin, are you here on Jack Griffith?
Mark Lakin is here on Jack Griffith.
Calling parties on Griffith, case number 2159558. The people of the state of Michigan versus Jack and Manus Griffith. The defendant is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. This is scheduled for probable cause conference.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brene Bailey on behalf of the people, P84009.
Morning, Mark Lakin on behalf of Mr. Griffith, P41147.
Well, good morning, Mr. Lakin.
Good morning.
Your client?
He is there.
Okay, can you state your name, unmute and state your name?
Jack Griffith.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Lakin, what is your pleasure here today?
Your Honor, we're looking for the soonest exam possible, and it doesn't matter whether it's live or Zoom.
Well, just to let you know, a Zoom exam, unlike at the beginning of the pandemic, a Zoom exam does not hasten the exam date. At the beginning of the pandemic, it certainly did because we weren't holding live court. So, Zoom exams were happening much quicker. Now it's pretty much everybody's competing for the same blocks of time. So if you Zoom exam, I'm a little reluctant to set Zoom exams unless there's some specific purpose for it. But if you want an in-person exam, and this is a non-custodial matter that is also not domestic. So unfortunately, the date is going to be rather far out. I think we're at the first week in January right now.
Right.
However, I will say this, Mr. Lakin, and I generally say this at the top of the morning. If you want an exam date, say, in a couple of weeks, I can give that date to you. However, it's very likely that you will be in the hallway for a long time, and you run the risk that at 12:25, I'll have to call you in to give a new date. But as you know, Mr. Lakin, it's a roll of the dice. There's some days when we've got 20 exams set and half those waive and half those get dismissed. But then more likely what happens is that we get congested, and if we overbook, then people could be waiting in the hallway just to get a new date. So if you want a date before January, just please keep in mind that is likely to be the case, but I certainly, I leave it up to you.
Well, I'm certainly willing to take the risk, so I'll take the first date possible and I'll do what I have to do.
Okay, how about September 1st?
That'd be fine.
September 1st at 11:30.
Is that live or on Zoom?
Oh, live.
Okay, that's fine.
September 1st at 11:30, live exam. And I'm gonna make that notation that you said that's okay.
Okay, hold me to it.
All right.
All right.
Anything, any other concerns or?
None.
Okay, discovery satisfied?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Griffith, we will see you in the courthouse on that date, September 1st, that's a Wednesday, at 11:30.
Who's prosecuting this case?
Well, there's two general warrants prosecutors. I don't know if Miss Yafufi was on holiday at that time or not, but Miss Bailey or Miss Yafufi? Miss Bailey is here today.
Miss Bailey, I just asked that Miss Bailey review the videos that have been supplied to me. It might change things.
Okay. Okay. She said, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Okay.
No, we're the court officer. don't have anything else to call at the moment.
What about, Mr. Burton? Let me see if there's anybody in the waiting room. What was his client's name?
Waiting on Mr. Lee, Darmanta.
Is he a jailer?
I don't believe so, no.
Oh, I'm bringing a jailer in now. Oh, well, it's empty.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen that room in a long time.
Me either. And then our, Najam Boyer, the, gentleman from Friday, I'm not sure which precinct he was in, but that's what Mr. Minkin is on.
Oh, maybe that's what the.
Because he wasn't on my jailer list, but I don't get all of the jailers on the list. Everybody's in their own island for some reason.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. O on the ninth, here
No, ma'am.
is his, client.
No.
Hey, this is Sandy from Judge Doctor's Courtroom. I'm not, hey, I'm good. Listen, I'm not sure which precinct this person was. We had him on Friday and I adjourned it to today, but he wasn't on my list. But I don't always get everyone's name on the list. But Boyer, Boyer. Najam.
Can you come in and say, oh, okay. Let me just tell the. Like maybe I'll go. They're calling my other case in Judge Jones.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have his client on video yet anyway, Judge.
Okay, so I'll come back, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And they're gonna add Mr. Boyer to the video. Mr. O, I'll call your case as soon as, the prosecutor comes back in.
Good, thank you. No rush. I may be called into a sentencing in front of Judge Ben Houghton in Third Circuit. I believe second in the queue.
Who have you been dealing with on this plea deal though? Because Mr. Slusky's on vacation. Mr. Cook,
Correct.
did he say that he would be here this morning?
He did not say one way or the other. He's the one who sent me the plea form because he's covering for Mr. Slusky.
Okay. Mr. Cook didn't check in, did he?
No. Oh, I thought you were here. There's a telephone device that is listed here in the Zoom gallery. Can I trouble you to rename your device to reflect your actual name? I'm going to put you in a waiting room until you can accomplish that. Thank you. In Miss Fanning.
Oh. She's
On Whaley or Haley or something.
Good morning, Miss Fanning.
Oh, did she leave that quickly? Oh. It said on Haley, so maybe she realized she was.
Oh, she was in the wrong place, because I don't see that. Parties on Brockman, case number 2060478. The people of the state of Michigan versus Timothy Donnell Brockman. The defendant is charged with count 1, weapons, firearms, possession by felon. Count 2, weapons carrying concealed. Count 3, weapons, felony, firearms, second offense notice. Habitual offender, fourth offense notice, commission of a felony with a motor vehicle advisory. This is scheduled for a preliminary exam.
Thank you, ma'am. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brene Bailey on behalf of the people, P84009.
And good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to your staff. May it please the most honorable court, Mohammed Nasser, P74485, appearing on behalf of Timothy Brockman. Your Honor, Mr. Brockman is not present.
Okay, and we did have a discussion off of the record, but while we're on the record here, can you explain why he is not here, his absence?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
Mr. Brockman is currently locked up at Monroe County Jail. He was locked up pursuant to a sentence by Judge Whitehurst over in Monroe County. When Mr. Brockman got locked up, he was then taken to the hospital. He has sickle cell disease. I spoke to the officer in charge, the captain, who has gone to Judge Whitehurst independently in order to seek a release for Mr. Brockman based upon his medical condition. We reached out to the Monroe County court today, and it's still being processed, the order. So he is not present. We are hopeful to have him out by that time, but he is not. So in light of that, Judge, Mr. Brockman is not here. I would ask the court to set a new exam date if this court is so inclined.
Okay, certainly that does rise to the level of good cause to explain why your client, Mr. Brockman, is not present. His status is in custody now,
Yes,
which is different than before. So in terms of setting an exam date, what do you think, Madam Clerk? Or actually, Counsel, why don't you select a date that would make sense with, you know more about his medical situation. Obviously, we don't want to set it 7 days out because I think that still needs to be assessed.
Yes.
But somewhere like maybe 14 to sometime thereafter.
Would this court allow, it is Labor Day, I apologize. Does it have to be on a Monday, Judge?
No. No. But you just kind of let us know what you're feeling is an appropriate time frame, because we don't really have open dates, but your client being in custody will take priority.
Judge, I am here on the 30th. Would this court allow the 30th?
Sure. August 30th. What time do you have a matter here?
I have a matter before this honorable court at 11:30. It's an exam.
Okay, let's set it for 11.
Yes, Judge.
August 30th at 11 a.m. in-person examination. In the event, Mr. Nasser, in the event that you find out there's some hiccups that would affect your client's ability to actually make it here for medical reasons, please do alert the court and the prosecution so we don't have witnesses that are lined up without reason to be so. Let me ask, were there witnesses here today on Brockman?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Were there witnesses present on Brockman today?
Your Honor, I haven't seen them sign in. They were provided with notice.
What is the exam time, 9:30?
9:30. Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Judge, the predicament that we're in, you know, I know the prosecutor very well. You know, Mr. Brockman's not here either, so,
well, but he's not here because he couldn't be here.
correct, Judge.
And I, as an officer of the court, I take your representation at its word that he is actually in custody.
Yes, Judge. This court, the
I
prosecutor.
leave it up to the court and Mr. Nasser as to any motions that he would make.
All right, Judge, at this point, as the officers are not present, I will move to dismiss.
Okay, thank you. So here's the situation, just so I'm being very clear about my position. Prosecutor has indicated that there are no witnesses that have appeared for the 9:30 exam. You have explained to the court that the reason why your client is not here is not because he didn't want to respond to this court date, but because he is now in custody and furthermore hospitalized, which obviously they could not effectuate a transport. Because I think the last time this matter was up, he was not in custody.
No, Judge.
And he was in fact present on July 14th, the last date that we had adjourned to today's date. So with that being said, I certainly would allow, if your client had been here, the prosecutor would not have been able to have proceeded, and your client is not absent because of some other reason. He's absent because he has been taken into custody and not transported for medical reasons. That's what I'm hearing. Is that a correct assessment?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. So again, is there a motion?
Yes, the defense motion to dismiss.
Matter is going to be dismissed without prejudice. So in the event that the prosecutor thinks it's appropriate to reissue on this matter, they certainly are well within their right to do so. Please make sure that you explain that to your client. But I don't know if the officers that were subpoenaed had some difficulty in receiving the subpoena or were not, had some emergency. But once everything is, all the ducks are in a row, the prosecution can certainly reissue in this matter. So I am going to grant that dismissal without prejudice. And I just need your signature on this order of dismissal as the moving party.
Yes,
Just preparing it right now.
Just a second. Judge, as soon as Mr. Lincoln signs back in, Mr. Boyer is on video.
Okay.
Good day, Judge. Nice to
You
meet
too, thank you.
Take care.
Call Mr. O's case. Calling parties on Williams, Quentin Williams. Case number 2062172, the people of the state of Michigan versus Quentin Devin Williams. The defendant is charged with count 1, license documents, plates forgery. Count 2, identity theft. Count 3, operating license suspended, revoked, denied, second or subsequent offense notice. Count 4, motor vehicle operation without security, habitual offender, fourth offense notice. This is scheduled for a preliminary exam.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brene Bailey on behalf of the people, P84009.
Morning, Judge. Neighborhood Defender Service by Gleno, P83424, appearing on behalf of Mr. Quentin Williams, who's joining us via Zoom.
Mr. Williams, could you please state your name, sir?
Quentin Williams.
Thank you. All right. What is your pleasure here today?
Yes, Judge. The parties have reached a resolution to this matter. I have forwarded the court a signed copy of the plea form.
Okay, and Madam Prosecutor, I know that you're not the prosecutor of record. However, you are familiar with this plea negotiation, and would you like to place it on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. The people have offered unlawful use of a license plate in count 1 and count 3, driving while license suspended, second degree notice. The sentencing agreement is probation and any and all other conditions set by the court. In exchange, the people will withdraw the notice to enhance the sentence and dismiss counts 2 and 4 for the plea.
Is that your understanding of the negotiation?
Yes, Judge, that is.
And Mr. Williams, is that your understanding of the negotiation?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Williams, I just need to ask you a few questions before I swear you in, okay?
Yes.
Do you understand the allegations against you, sir?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have a right to an attorney, and if you couldn't afford one, one would be appointed to you?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have a right to a trial?
Yes.
Do you understand that if a trial did proceed, that you would be able to have your attorney cross-examine prosecutorial witnesses, and you could even have witnesses subpoenaed to appear on your behalf, and you could even testify on your own behalf if you wanted to? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you tender a plea of guilty, the court accepts that plea, that has the effect of waiving, of giving up your right to a trial?
Yes.
And is that how you wish to proceed?
Yes.
And are you doing so because you are guilty?
Yes.
Has anyone threatened you in any way to get you to give up your right to a trial?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than this negotiation that has been placed on the record?
No.
Are you pleading guilty again then because you are guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand that even though I would accept your plea here today, that I would not be the sentencing judge?
Yes.
And that you would appear before an entirely different judge on a sentencing date, probably sometime late August? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Or early September?
Yes.
And that in that date, you would have to avail yourself to what's called a pre-sentence investigation, which is basically just an interview. And due to whatever responses you provide, a report would be generated, a sentencing recommendation for the judge. And that you would have an opportunity to read that along with your attorney on the date of sentencing, before the sentencing. And you could certainly make any corrections that you think need to be made or highlight things that were not mentioned. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you also understand that the sentencing judge would have discretion to sentence you as he or she deems is appropriate?
Yes.
So what I mean by that is that if, because of information provided in your sentencing recommendation, let's say perhaps there's something that causes the judge to be concerned about your mental health, the judge could impose some level of mental health counseling. Or if she felt you had some sort of substance abuse problem, she could impose substance abuse counseling. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And also the judge would have discretion to impose a fine or court costs or both. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And it could be just as simple as don't pick up any new cases for a period of time, a probationary period of time. But I cannot tell you what that sentencing judge is going to do. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm? Is that right hand? Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're going to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Madam Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Williams, on November 29th, 2020, were you on Davison Highway near Gallagher?
Yes.
Is that here in the city of Detroit, Wayne County?
Yes.
And what did you Did you have a valid driver's license?
No.
And what, if anything, did you do that would constitute as unlawful use of a license plate?
Can you repeat the question?
What if, did you have a valid license plate on your vehicle?
No.
And you understand that you needed both of those, you understand that you needed a valid driver's license and a valid license plate to operate a vehicle here in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
Your Honor, the people have no further questions.
Are you satisfied, Mr. O?
One additional question, Judge. And Mr. Williams, let's see, on May 18th, 2018, you were previously convicted of driving while license suspended.
You said when?
In 2018, you were previously convicted of operating license suspended, revoked, or denied. This would be your
Yes.
second one. Satisfied, Judge.
Court is satisfied that your plea is knowingly and voluntarily given. The counts 2 and 4 are going to be dismissed without prejudice pursuant to the prosecutor's motion. Count 1, amended to unlawful use of a license plate. That plea will be accepted. That's a 90-day misdemeanor. And count 3, amended to driving while license suspended, second notice, also a misdemeanor. That plea will be accepted. We need to give you a sentencing date to appear. I think that's going to be before Judge Bryant.
September 13th.
September 13th. And again, please be mindful that there will need to be a pre-sentence investigation that you will need to avail yourself of between now and that date. They should be reaching out to you. In the event that they do not reach out to you, Madam Clerk will supply Mr. O, she'll supply you with the probation department's number. Because it is important to note that you cannot, Mr. Williams, be sentenced without that pre-sentence investigation occurring. So we will get that information as well as a copy of the order of dismissal that has now been signed by the prosecutor as it relates to counts 2 and 4.
Okay.
Anything further?
Nothing further.
Nothing from the defense, Judge.
Okay, we're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Hey, Karen, how are you?
Good. I do not see Mr. Quentin signing.
He's in the hallway, so I'm not sure. Our court officer went to see if he could, see if he was next door. Otherwise, let me see if I can find his phone.
Calling parties on Theas. Case number 2159833, the people of the state of Michigan versus Heather Theas. The defendant is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 2, domestic violence, habitual offender, second offense notice. This is scheduled for a probable cause conference.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Emily New on behalf of Ms. Theas. And Your Honor, Ms. Theas is out on a tether. And so I'd ask permission to wait for her appearance.
Well, have you been in communication with her?
Your Honor, yeah, I will be in communication with her and I'll be able to tell her her next court date.
Okay. Yes, I will waive her presence. I believe I'm comfortable with doing that. Prosecution?
That is Mr. Bloomer's case, Your Honor, and I believe that he is on his way over here.
Okay, we'll recall
Yeah,
it.
we'll have to recall it. Sorry, I didn't realize he wasn't with us. Did you see find Mr. Macon?
Yeah, he's next door, he's up.
And counsel, on that last case, oh, here's Mr. Bloomers right here. Please make sure, I generally like the prosecutor to go first. If the prosecutor doesn't put their appearance on, then we have to recall the matter. Mr. Bloomers, however, just walked into the courtroom. Can you put your appearance on, sir, on Heather Theas?
Jacob Bloomers on behalf of people.
And counsel for defense has already put her appearance on. I've waived her client's presence. What is your pleasure, Madam Defense?
Your Honor, at this time, we'd ask to adjourn the probable cause conference because we have no discovery. I have no police reports. I have nothing in regards to the charges. Discovery was requested July 28th. So we just ask that we have time to receive discovery from the prosecution and review it.
Mr. Bloomers?
Well, I believe I was just informed the defendant is actually out in the hall, so.
Oh, we'll bring her on in.
Um,
Please. I meant to say please.
Okay.
And thank you. Did you know that your client was here?
Oh, that's great. She arrived in person.
Well, we'll see in a few moments if that's her.
Okay.
They actually shouldn't have been, but oh well.
Could you state your name, please? Thank you. All right, your attorney is present in the Zoom gallery, the top right corner. Mr. Bloomers, as it relates to discovery.
I will send it to defense straight away.
Okay. Did you catch her name and contact?
I did not. All I have is NDS, which is why I probably should have it.
Emily New.
Okay.
NEW.
Okay, so Mr. Bloomers will get that discovery to you straight away. I'm certain of it.
Thank you.
Would you like another PCC so you can review the discovery, or did you want to select an exam date today?
I guess let's go ahead and select the exam date as long as it's not, within a week or two. I think that would be fine.
It'll be probably in November. That would be an early date. Madam Clerk, what can we do?
November 15th at 11 a.m.
That works for the defense, Your Honor.
In-person examination. You actually could have appeared on Zoom today, but I'm glad that you're present so you can hear what's going on either way. I will need you in person, just as you are today, in person on that date of November 15th at 11 a.m. And counsel, if there's any issues that arise between now and that date, any concerns regarding discovery, etc., please make sure that you notify the prosecutor and the clerk, and we'll tee it up for an appropriate motion if it's necessary. But otherwise, the bond will continue. Please make sure you abide by any bond conditions, namely the no contact with the complaining witness, not directly or indirectly. It's very important that you abide by that, okay? Yes, ma'am. All right. Anything further from defense or prosecution?
Nothing from the people, Judge.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We're all set.
Right, thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Calling Carson on Talton, case number 2159806. The people of the state of Michigan versus Tanisha Talton. The defendant is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 2, domestic violence. Count 3, malicious destruction of personal property less than $200. This is scheduled for a probable cause conference.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Jacob Bloomers on behalf of the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Sarah Kraus, PA 30, appearing on behalf of Tanisha Talton. I am asking that her presence be waived this morning.
So ordered. What's your pleasure?
Your Honor, as far as I am aware, I don't have discovery on this case yet. I did receive a couple evidence.com downloads this morning, but I have not had to check them since I've been in person. So I would request all discovery on this case and also request to set an exam date.
Okay, as to discovery, Mr. Bloomers?
Yes, Judge, I did actually send the paper discovery to Ms. Krause this morning, so I think it's probably one of those links she received.
Okay.
Digital will be forthcoming, and there are no there are no concerns from people as to bond at this time either.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
November 18th at 10 a.m.
Judge, I actually cannot do that date. I am getting married that weekend, so I will not be in the office Thursday.
Congratulations! Oh my goodness.
So when will you be available? After that?
I can actually do the 15th. I will be that Monday, if that's available, or the 16th.
Okay, the 15th at 11 a.m.
Perfect.
Okay, in-person exam, November 15th, 2021 at 11 a.m. And is there anything further?
Nothing from people, Judge.
That's perfect. Go.
Okay, we're all set. Bond will continue.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Bailey, are you the prosecutor on Marshall?
I am.
Okay. Calling parties on Marshall, case number 2062411. The people of the state of Michigan versus Corey Alexander Marshall. The defendant is charged with count 1, weapons carrying concealed. Count 2, police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. This is scheduled for a preliminary exam.
Thank you. Didn't Ms. Krause have another PCC or did she already handle it? Patterson?
That was retained out.
Oh, okay. Appearances on Marshall, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brene Bailey on behalf of the people, P84009.
And good morning, y'all. Attorney Kevin Bassan, P71061 on behalf of Mr. Corey Marshall, who's also present in court, y'all.
Thank you. Please state your name.
My name is Corey Marshall.
Thank you. Today is the date and time set for preliminary examination. Are we proceeding to an exam today?
Well, the defense counsel prepared to proceed. I don't know if the people are
Your
there.
Honor, the people are unprepared to proceed at this time. No witnesses have appeared.
Okay.
At this time, the defense counsel will move for dismissal, Judge.
All right, it is currently 10:03 by the court's clock. This matter was set for 10 o'clock. And due to the representations made by Madam Prosecutor, I am going to grant that motion made by defense counsel to dismiss this matter. The matter is dismissed without prejudice. So what that means, sir, is that it's dismissed today. We know that the witnesses aren't here, but we don't know why the witnesses are not here. So the dismissal without prejudice, what that trailer language means in essence, is that it is possible that the prosecution can reissue on this charge. If you have questions about the fullness of that concept, please make sure you speak to your attorney, Mr. Basant. He'll explain it to you in further detail. Do you have on a GPS tether that needs to be removed? No? Okay. I'm preparing the order of dismissal. Counsel, I just need your signature as the moving party, and we'll be all set. You can have a seat in the hallway, Mr. Marshall.
And just for the record, I would ask for a return of any bond posted.
Of any what?
Any bond posted.
Oh, sure. Well, as a matter of course, we don't handle that. So if you're seeking it maybe 4 to 6 weeks from now, this would not be the court to come back to. But as a matter of course, whenever a matter is dismissed, any bond that was posted will go back to the individual that posted it at the address for which that bond was posted. So I'm certain that the pandemic has also affected the timing of that. It used to be pre-pandemic about 4 to 6 weeks. But in the event, sir, that you do not see that receipt coming back, I would suggest following up, but with the cashier, not with this courtroom. Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. This is for this one. here. I don't know if you saw that she's on.
Who is?
Miss Nicole James.
Yeah, actually, I'm just getting ready to ask the deputies if they can switch out Mr. Boyer for Mr. Brown, because Mr. Lincoln, I don't know what he's next door, I'm not sure what he's doing. Yeah, let me get you, I'll make 2 copies. I make the yellow one and the red one.
Thank you, Judge, to you and your staff.
Take care.
Love you too.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Are we ready on Carson?
2 seconds, please.
Okay. Okay, so it's, hey, is Mr. Lincoln doing a exam? Oh, okay, all right, no problem, thank you. All right. Just gonna wait for something. Should be here shortly. Are we ready? Calling parties on Carson, case number 2157796. The people of the state of Michigan versus Kenyatta Renee Carson. The defendant is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 2, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Commission of a felony with a motor vehicle advisory. This is scheduled for a preliminary exam.
Thank you, ma'am. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brene Bailey on behalf of the people, P84009.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm DS Detroit by Natalie Phelps, P number 83355, appearing on behalf of Ms. Kenyatta Carson, who is also present in the courtroom. Ms. Carson, can you please state your name for the record?
Thank you. Today is the date and time set for an examination. Are we proceeding to an exam this morning?
Your Honor, the people are unable to proceed this morning. The complaining witnesses, Kimberly Clark and Courtney Johnson, have not appeared here in the courthouse, Your Honor. They were provided with subpoenas, and I did call them last week, either Thursday or Friday, and I spoke with one of them, reminding them of today's date, Your Honor.
Okay, it is currently 10:07. This matter was set for 10 a.m. and with those representations placed on the record, Madam Defense, is there a motion?
Yes, Your Honor. I move the defense will move for dismissal at this time.
I am going to grant that motion to dismiss. Keep in mind, Ms. Carson, that this matter is dismissed without prejudice. And what that means is that it is possible that the prosecution can reissue in this matter. Because while the complaining witnesses are not here, that is clear. What is unclear is the why. So if the prosecutor does her due diligence and makes certain determinations that the complaining witnesses will appear at any future court appearances and perhaps had some emergency or something of that like, the prosecutor does have that discretion to reissue. Do you have on a GPS tether that needs to be removed?
Yes.
Okay, I will include that language on the order of dismissal that should be removed. We'll also notify them from our angle here, the tether unit that is, that the tether should be removed, but it's a good idea for you to have this copy to take with you to the tether unit, so there's no confusion about whether or not the tether should be removed. If you have questions about the possibility of this being reissued, what I was explaining before, please make sure you speak to your attorney and she will explain it to you in greater detail, okay? Counsel, I just need your signature on this order of dismissal as the moving party. And is there anything further, Ms. Phelps?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further for the people.
Okay.
I don't know.
Carson, where that's at.
She has one.
I think she's on that 1:30.
Yeah, that's what Mr. Raynor, I sent him an email, but he said she's supposed to be here, so you can talk to him.
Who's the prosecutor?
Mr. Bloomers.
On the 1:30?
Yes.
Oh.
So I'm not sure why we set that there. The person is in custody.
Oh, that's why.
Hey, Tammy,
Yes.
here at the jail,
Yeah, I'm trying to get Mr. Minkin, who was in the hallway, and then now he's putting a waiver on, so he should be here, like, can you give me 5?
okay, that's for Mr. Boyer. What about Mr. Brown?
I have their attorney and prosecutors are here on that. I just didn't want to move Mr. Boyer because.
Gotcha, okay, no problem.
Ew, I'm not sure what's taking so long. Yeah, I just called over there, he was putting a waiver on, but. I'm not sure.
Mr. Burton Harris.
Hey, Judge, did you call me?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, there's a couple of people that are in the waiting room that have just telephone numbers. They don't have their devices named to identify them. So I don't know if that would include your client or not.
Do you have one that has a 248 area code?
No. I do not.
Well, unless he's calling from another number, I'm not sure if that's him or not.
Okay. I've put a message into the waiting room that they need to rename their devices to no avail.
Yeah, most people I deal with, they don't know how to rename it if it's not already named as themselves.
Well.
Well, if I known that, I would have had him switched him. Judge, Miss James is still, yeah, I'm just gonna have him switch. I'm not sure what's going on with Miss James.
Deputy,
Yes.
Hey, can you switch out Mr. Boyer for Mr. Brown? And then just, when Mr. Brown, bring Mr. Boyer back, please. Thank you. They're gonna do it. I'm not sure where he's at. He actually moved the chair. Show the parties on Brown, Henry Brown.
Yes.
Calling case number 2159830, the people of the state of Michigan versus Henry Brown. The defendant is charged with count 1 and 2, operating while intoxicated causing serious injury. Count 3, operating license suspended, revoked, denied causing serious injury. Count 4, operating license suspended, revoked, denied causing serious injury. Count 5, police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, causing injury. Count 6, operating with a high BAC, third offense notice felony. Count 7, operating while intoxicated, third offense notice felony. Count 8, alcohol, open container in vehicle, habitual offender, fourth offense notice. This matter is scheduled for a probable cause conference.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kyle Heika, P78833 for the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Nicole James appearing on behalf of Mr. Brown. My P number is 58961.
Thank you. And your client, can you please state your name?
Henry Brown.
Today is the date and time set for a PCC. Counsel, what's your pleasure here?
Judge, I would ask this be set for an in-person preliminary examination.
Okay. Would you like to select a date which should at least be 7 days out? You'd like to select a date since your client is in custody. Your client would take priority. We don't really have open dates to give. So.
Okay.
How many proposed witnesses for the prosecution?
5.
Okay, well, that makes it a little tricky because it sounds like it's the most appropriate to set it in the afternoon. And our afternoons have us, I think, mid-September. What's our first available, even if it means bumping a non-custody?
Let me see what I can.
Mr. Brown, just so you know, I have a visit scheduled with you this evening at 5.
I'm looking. Everyone's in custody. Oh. That's a part.
It's a non-custody.
Is the, no, I think that's in custody. Sorry. One of them is in custody, one of them is out. wait till I'm done trying to figure this out.
That's right.
So, I'm looking, it's just hard. We have so many in custodies.
Set it for a morning and get through whatever we can get through, maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Then
it
just
sounds
have to
like
be
that's
by
already so
procedure.
far out. Why don't you just pick a date, Ms. James, and it's gonna have to be in the morning, keeping in mind we're gonna have to bifurcate over however many days it's necessary, but, to secure an afternoon exam, we've got so many homicides and custodial, capital offenses that are set, that we're looking,
We're towards the end of September.
yeah. So why don't you select a date and just keep in mind that unless we're moving at a really quick clip, that it will have to be bifurcated.
Judge, how about August 19th?
Okay. Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Judge, I'm available.
So we'll set it for August 19th, which is a Thursday at,
Scheduled for 10.
10 a.m. Can we also set what about the 20th? Are you available on August 20th? In the morning as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, August 20th, can we say 10 a.m. again?
Yeah.
At 10 a.m. And it probably is a really good idea, when you get here, please do not go find one of those little rooms and
Hide in it.
hide in it. Not that you would hide in it, but please let us know when you are here. And so we can start with whatever we can get through. That would be really helpful for the timing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Again, we've got right now, August 19th and August 20th at 10 a.m. on both dates for in-person examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything further?
Your Honor, I did send a PCC form to Ms. James, and I had indicated on that form that at the exam, first, the people are demanding an exam. I intend to amend count 1 to operating while intoxicated causing death. That's MCL 257.6254. And in putting defense on notice at the conclusion of the examination, the people may be moving to add an additional count of second-degree murder, MCL 750.317.
Thank you for that heads up in terms of potential alterations. And the court is taking notice, as I'm sure Ms. James is. And we'll see you on August 19th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a good one, everyone.
You too.
Calling parties on Raynor. Case number 2061441, the people of the state of Michigan versus Michael Stephen Raynor. The defendant is charged with count 1 and 2, controlled substance, delivery, manufacture, cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic less than 50 grams. Count 3, weapons carrying concealed. Count 4 and 5, weapons, felony, firearm. This matter is scheduled for a preliminary exam.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexandra Hand requesting permission to practice pursuant to MCR 8.120 under the supervision of Brene Lee.
Granted.
Good morning, Judge. I'm Christopher Sinclair, P80512. Today's date and time set for preliminary examination, and I have no client. Today's is an adjourned examination date, let me say that. I've tried to reach out to him, tried to reach out to family members that I had been in contact previously. None of my efforts were successful, and here we stand today.
Okay, it is currently 10:29 in the morning, and this matter was set for 10, it's actually 30 now by the court's clock. This matter was set for 10:30, and Mr. Raynor has not joined the party, and no reason that has been provided to explain his absence. That being said, is there a motion?
Yes, Your Honor. The people would move for a habeas.
I'd ask for a brief adjournment to allow me to try to track him down, if the court would allow it.
Well, I generally I would, if I felt that there was something that rose to the level of good cause that would warrant an adjournment, but without hearing something on the record, today is game day. Today is the date and time set for an examination, and the client has failed to appear. Let me first ask, has Mr. Raynor called the court?
No calls received.
Okay. That being said, I am going to grant the motion for Theas. Theas will issue. Previous bond is going to be revoked. New bond is going to be set at $10,000 cash security. In the event that you are able to establish contact with him today, we generally don't enter Theas until around 2. So you certainly can Zoom back in and we can get this back on track. I'm just curious, were there any witnesses that did show?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So it would be a matter, in the event you are able to get his presence on Zoom, certainly the court would be interested to know why he didn't show, but we can get it back on track. If it's after 2 though, he will need to avail himself in the normal course of availing oneself to an open warrant, which will be entered once Madam Clerk gets to it again, probably around 2 or 2:30, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we are all set. Good to see you, Mr. Sinclair.
Good to see you. Always a pleasure.
Likewise.
And just, so I'm curious, when you say the normal course, you mean through the DMCA?
Yes.
Downstairs?
Yes.
Okay.
As opposed to sometimes people will Zoom in 30 days later.
Right.
Say, my client's here.
My judge set it aside.
No, they gotta go.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Judge, are they in a breakout room?
I guess okay, I'm not sure if they needed it, but.
I'm sure they did because he's hadn't even spoken to him. Here's, I don't know if his person.
Did you hear anything further from your client, Mr. Burton Harris?
No, Your Honor. Could we put this, maybe this, just adjourn it until tomorrow? And maybe that'll give him enough time to.
Before we do that, let me bring these two individuals in and just make sure that that's not your client.
Okay.
The telephone numbers that I just brought in, can you identify yourself, please?
Christopher Willis.
And the second device is who is that?
Hello.
Pardon? Oh, that's Miss Toulat's case. Didn't she already get a date?
She already got a date on Christopher Willis, yes.
Mr. Willis, your attorney checked in for you and also got the date.
And that date was for January.
At 9:30.
January 7th at 9:30.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
He's set. You can sign off. You're all set.
Okay. Thank you.
And sir, that's for an in-person exam. Please make sure you're in the courthouse, okay?
I have to be at the courthouse.
Yes, sir, on that date. Isn't that true? Yes.
Okay. Nope. Okay.
Okay, take care. The second device, cellular device, can you identify yourself, please?
Tanisha Talton.
One more time.
Tanisha Talton.
Oh, that's Ms. Krause's case, yeah. She appeared on your behalf already, and your exam date, in-person exam date is November 15th at 11 a.m.
Okay.
In person, in the courthouse, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, take care.
You said November who?
November 15th at 11 a.m.
All right, see you then, ma'am.
Take care.
All right.
You too.
Mr. Ken, are you ready?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Is that for me?
Are you ready?
I'm ready, yes.
Calling parties on Boyer, case number 2159581. The people of the state of Michigan versus Najam Boyer. The defendant is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 2, domestic violence. This is scheduled for a probable cause conference.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Jacob Bloomers on behalf of the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Steve Benson, T31562. I'm appearing on behalf of Mr. Boyer.
Mr. Boyer, please state your name.
Good morning, Your Honor. Najam Boyer speaking.
How are you doing today, Mr. Boyer?
I'm doing way better than Friday.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. We kind of got off on the wrong foot, didn't we?
Yes, ma'am. I let my emotions get the best of me.
Okay, well I appreciate you saying that. So today is a PCC. Mr. Mencken has been newly assigned to your case. Mr. Mencken, have you had an opportunity to speak with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
And what is your pleasure?
Your Honor, I understand there's an exam set for Friday at 10 a.m. I want to leave that date on. I do have some other court. I have to be in person at 8 o'clock in the morning in Dearborn, so hopefully it won't be a problem getting to the court at 10.
Okay, yes, we've got it set for at 10 o'clock, August 13th. That's this Friday, live in-person exam. So Mr. Boyer will be transported to the courthouse here. And was there any other thing you wanted to address in this matter before the exam?
Well, I mean, I know that based on, I don't know, I guess a number of things, his conduct with, he didn't even want me to address the bond, but I don't know if the court would consider or wants him to stay here till Friday because he has a high bond, I understand.
Did you Did you talk to him to the extent that you understood why his bond got increased?
I did not, so I wasn't really aware of it. He said just wait till Friday, and I don't know. I decided to bring it up.
Well,
Why did it get increased?
the bond got increased on, I think it was Friday, because he had, first of all, he had an exam date on August 5th, didn't show. And then he was before the court on a tether violation on the 6th. He had picked up, and the tether was, there was an alert, a tamper alert, and the tether, by way of the pictures that were provided, looked as though it was obviously trying to be removed. And so the court was concerned not only because Mr. Boyer missed his examination date on the 5th, but also because it was clear that there was an attempt to either damage or remove the tether. So the bond was increased by the prosecutor's motion to $50,000 cash assurity with no 10%. And then Mr. Boyer, he got very, very agitated. And in fact, we never even finished because he was taken away.
Okay, well then I'll just wait till Friday and see what happens then.
Okay, so yeah, certainly if there is some activity that occurs on Friday that would warrant this issue to be moot, then certainly we will cross that bridge when we get there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Take care.
See ya. Yep, have a good day. See you on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Still no. Mr. Burton Harris, he signed. All right. Miss Marble said she was en route.
So we're just pushing Mr. Burton Harris's case to tomorrow. That's what he was asking.
Yeah, I guess unless he pops back on, I would just hold it till tomorrow. And hopefully he can get in touch with him. I think we're just waiting on 11. See what happens then. I still have, Mr. Bloomers, I still have Miss Silver hasn't checked in on Mr. Lewis.
Okay. I saw Mr. Hordos.
Oh, okay.
If you would like to return tomorrow, you can, Mr. Burton Harris. I note that your client still doesn't appear to be here.
I'm sorry, Judge, I had another video playing. Could you repeat yourself?
If you would like to return tomorrow, as you were suggesting not long ago, you certainly can do that because I still do not see your client has arrived.
Okay, I will make sure he gets that, and we will try this again tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, who are we waiting on? Marable? Tordos?
Yes.
Tordos here?
Anyone else checked in for the 11 o'clock? Cordos's client's not here?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Keisha. case number 20. Is that your case, Mr. Bloomers? Is this your case
What
or
was the name?
Bradford?
No.
All right, is Miss Bailey in the hallway? Does she know?
It's an ag stalking, but it's not a DV.
That's why I thought it was you, Mr. Bloomers.
You guys doing all right today?
We are, thank you. How are you?
Good, except for the community killing me. I thought I was gonna die yesterday.
Yeah.
Sticky.
Calling case number 2059262, the people of the state of Michigan versus Anya Maxine Bradford. The defendant is charged with count 1, stalking aggravated. This is scheduled for a preliminary exam. Thank you.
Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brene Bailey on behalf of the people, P84009.
And good morning, Your Honor, from Neighborhood Defender Service, Jonathan Hortis, P78948, on behalf of Miss Anya Bradford, standing behind me to my right. Ms. Bradford, can you state your name, please?
Anya Bradford, good morning.
Thank you and good morning. Today is the date and time set for an examination. Are we proceeding to an exam?
I feel prepared.
The people are prepared.
Defense is ready, let's go.
Any preliminary matters?
Your Honor, at this time, the people would like the court to take judicial notice of a signed and served motion and order for violating, for a personal protection order granted November 27th, 2019, and served I believe it was June. Yeah, never mind, Your Honor.
Okay. Any other preliminary matters?
None for the people.
Temporary mutual order sequestration, Judge.
Sequestration is granted. The courtroom is already clamped down due to COVID restrictions. The Zoom gallery, I've enabled the waiting room, so there's no one in here that is not already affiliated with the courthouse. And the third tier to sequestration is that this is live streaming on YouTube. So if there's anyone watching the live stream that should not be watching because you're either a witness to this matter or a potential witness, please now stop from watching these proceedings to maintain the integrity of this process. First witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the people would call Erica Bachelor Murray to the stand.
Oh, that is true. Good morning to you, ma'am. Could you please state your full name and spell your first and last name? Yes, ma'am.
Erica Bachelor Murray,
Okay, could you spell your first and last name, please?
ERIKABACHELOR-MURRAY.
Thank you. And could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're going to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You can make your way around here. This little half gate will open up towards you.
Okay.
Watch your step as you come up, and once she's settled in the witness chair, you may proceed, Madam Prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please restate your name for the record?
Erica Bachelor Murray.
And Miss Murray, Do you reside, on Southeast Lawn Circuit, or Court, I'm sorry?
Yes.
Here- Is that here in the city of Detroit,
Yes,
County of Wayne?
yes.
And on May 20th of 2019, did you have occasion to file something with the circuit court here in
Your Honor, I'm
Detroit?
going to object. The prosecutor's leading the witness so far, I think, for every question. I think we have an open-ended question.
Objection sustained.
Are you asking if
Hold on,
I
hold
follow?
on. So the objection got sustained, so she has to ask a new question.
Okay.
Thank you.
What, if anything, did you file?
Objection, Your Honor, receiving facts not
Let's hear the
evidence.
question first. Please don't answer the question. We want to hear the questions first.
What, if anything, did you file with the circuit court in 2019?
Again, objection, Your Honor, receiving facts not evidence. The prosecutor needs to establish the foundation for that question.
Objection sustained.
I know what you're getting at.
Miss Bachelor Murray, do you see anyone here in the courtroom that you recognize?
Yes,
Who do you recognize?
Ms. Bradford.
And could you please point to Miss Bradford and tell me something she's wearing?
She's wearing is that the red or the pink? Red and pink?
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant?
The record will so reflect.
And how is it that you know Miss Bradford?
She harassed me for over a year after sleeping with my husband.
And how did she conduct this harassment?
By calling my job, by calling my house, by texting me, by driving past my home, by calling social services on me multiple times.
And in response to this conduct, did you do anything?
I married the wrong guy.
Did you do anything legally?
I filed a PPO against her for harassment.
And when did you file that PPO?
I believe May 20th, if I'm not mistaken.
Of what year?
2018, 19.
Would May of 2019?
Your Honor, objection, and I'm going to ask the court to strike the previous answer for speculation.
Objection overruled.
Ms. Bachelor Murray, would it refresh your recollection if you were to view some court documents that you filed as to the date?
Yes, I believe it was 20.
Just a second.
So Judge, just to make a clear record, if the prosecution is refreshing the witness's recollection, then will the court reconsider the motion to strike?
Objection sustained.
Thank you.
Permission to approach?
Yes.
May 2019.
So, Ms. Bachelor Murray, do you recognize the document that I just handed you?
Absolutely.
And what is it?
It is a PPO against Ms. Bradford. And may I say the reason why?
Judge,
Just a second.
Judge, I'm going to list an objection here. Are we refreshing recollection or are we admitting a document into evidence?
I can't answer that question because I'm not the moving party that's seeking anything, and I haven't heard anything to that regard. But let me just, before we pivot too far away, please just let Madam Prosecutor ask the questions. There may be things that you would want to say, but this has to proceed in a question and answer format. In like manner, after she's done, Mr. Hordos for the defense will stand up and ask you questions as well. Then the prosecutor will have another opportunity to clear up anything and ask further questions. So please don't feel the need to give any sort of long narrative.
Okay. And does the document that I just handed you refresh your recollection?
Yes,
So what day did you file for a personal protection order?
May 20th, 2019.
And do you know if that personal protection order was served upon Ms. Bradford?
Yes, it was.
Do you know when it was served upon Ms. Bradford?
It was served.
Your Honor, just for the record, the witness is referring to the document to get the service date.
It appears as though she is still referring to the document. Please make sure that if that is what you are doing, please review the document. And then when you're done, you can put the document down, so as to avoid reading from the document as you testified.
Okay. I don't remember the date that she was actually served.
Do you happen to recall what month she was served?
It was also in May.
Of what year?
2019.
Would that have been the end of May?
Yes.
Or perhaps in the beginning of June?
That could be possible.
Objection, Your Honor, the prosecution is leading the witness again.
Objection sustained.
Your Honor, if I might respond.
To leading?
Yeah, Your Honor, it's not leading. The question is not suggesting an answer. She's completely free to respond.
Objection sustained, it was a leading question.
And how do you know that she was served with the PPO?
I got a receipt from I believe it was a sheriff or someone who gave it to her. I got a receipt.
Judge, objection for best evidence rule, move to strike the answer. If there is a proof of service contained in a document, it cannot be testified to through witness testimony. It needs to be produced.
Your response?
My response, or?
If I could have a moment.
You can actually step off of the witness stand for just a moment if you could. And have a seat in the hallway. We're gonna call you back in just a minute. Okay. Madam Clerk. Can you see if there's-
Judge, should I vacate as well?
I think, give me a moment, please. Najam. Okay, and the matter is dismissed without prejudice, given the representation that's been made here by the prosecution that they are unable to proceed. And this is for Mr. Cortez. Thank you.
Dean. Dean, yes, Loretta. Dean is here. She didn't want to be, in the hallway with the,
I understand. This is People versus Vernie Dean, 200-61676. The defendant is charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 2, weapons, felony firearm. Count 3, domestic violence. Today is the date and time set for preliminary examination. Appearances.
Jacob Bloomers on behalf of the people.
Good morning to this honorable court. Carla Marable on behalf of Ms. Dean. Ms. Dean, can you please stand up and state your name for the record?
Her name is Dean. Good morning, and with today being the date and time set for an examination, are there any preliminary matters to attend to?
None from the people.
None for us, Your Honor.
First witness?
Your Honor, the people call Vincent Dean.
Okay. Please state your full name, sir, and spell your first and last name.
Vincent Dean, V-I-N-C-E-T, last name D-E-A.
Thank you. Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're going to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You can make your way around here. This little half gate is going to open up towards you. Watch your step coming up and have a seat in the witness chair. Once he's settled, you may proceed with the prosecution.
Good morning, Mr. Dean. Can you please state your full name for the record?
Vincent Dean.
And Mr. Dean, on or about the date of April 1st, I'm sorry, let me start over. On or about the date of November 4th, 2020, were you at the location of 11410 Nashville?
Yes.
And how do you know that address?
I live there.
Okay. And what brought you to that address on that date?
I was on my way home from work and my fiance called me. And she said, my ex-wife is outside my house taking pictures.
Your Honor, I want to object to what his ex-wife, to what his fiance calls for hearsay.
Objections.
Okay, well, I'll ask another way. Did you receive information which caused you to return to your home for work?
Yes.
Okay. And who was that information about?
My ex-wife.
Okay. And what's your ex-wife's name?
Brene Alfred. Brene Dean.
Brene Dean, okay. And do you see Ms. Dean here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you please point to her and tell us what she's wearing? Make sure that the judge can see where you're pointing.
Fluorescent shirt, short hair, gray hair.
Let the record reflect the witness identify the person, the defendant.
The record will reflect identification of the defendant.
Okay, so when you arrived home on that day, was Ms. Dean there?
No.
Okay. So what did you do after arriving home?
I started backing in my driveway.
Okay, and what happened after you backed into your driveway?
I heard a car coming down the street. I was backing in my driveway. She blocked me in my driveway.
Okay, and you say she, is that Ms. Dean?
Ms. Dean.
Okay. So you were backing in your driveway, she blocked you in, what happened next?
She rolled her passenger window down, reached over with her left hand with her gun, pointed at me and said, "Motherfucker, you better stop following me."
Okay. Now, had you ever seen that gun before?
Yes.
Okay, how had you seen that gun before?
I purchased that gun when we were married.
Okay, and did you know if Ms. Dean had a CPL?
No, I did not.
Okay. But you said you had purchased her that gun?
Yes.
Okay. When she said you better stop following me, did you understand what she was talking about that time?
I had no idea what she was talking about.
Okay. And you said when she pointed the gun, where exactly was she pointing it?
At me, out her window, at me.
And what were you thinking when she was pointing that gun at you?
I was about to reach for my gun.
Okay. And why were you gonna reach for your gun?
I was in fear for my life.
Okay. So after she pointed the gun at you, what happened next?
She pulled off, and I knew it was gonna be some BS. I was on my way to the police station.
Okay, so after she pulled off, you're saying you went to the police station?
Yes.
And do you know what precinct that was?
The 9th on Gunston and Grass.
Okay, and where is that in relation to your house? Is it close, far?
About 2 minutes away.
Okay, so you're saying you proceeded to that precinct?
Yes.
All right, and what happened as you proceeded to that precinct?
I saw Miss Dean pull up at the police station.
Okay.
She jumps out her car, she runs in the police station. I park in the parking lot, waiting for the police to come out because I don't know what she's running there to tell me. So about a minute go by, don't nothing happen. So I get out the car to go to the police station. As I'm approaching the door, she comes out the police station and says, "You better get away from here. Don't come in here." I'm totally ignoring her because I'm going to the police station.
Okay, and what happens after that?
She goes back in the police station, pulls her gun out, beats on the glass inside the police station.
Okay, and what happens next?
A female officer gets up, comes to the door, and as the female officer opens the door, Ms. Dean turns to the female officer and says, "You better get him before I kill him." The female officer looks at her and says, "Do you have a gun?" She said yes, and she begins to try to pull it out, and the officer grabs her, tells me, "You get out," and they take her in the back.
Okay, and did you have any more contact with Ms. Dean that day after that?
On her way out of the police station when she was getting arrested.
Okay. At any point that day, did you threaten Ms. Dean?
No.
And you stated earlier, when she pointed the gun at you, that you were gonna pull your gun. Did you ever pull your gun out?
No.
And do you have a CPL?
Yes, I do.
Okay. No more questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. You say you get a call from your fiance, correct?
Correct.
Now, Did your fiance never said that Ms. Dean had knocked on your door or had approached the house or anything, correct?
Correct.
She was just parked on a public street, correct?
Well, I'm gonna object here to hearsay, any content of that conversation.
It would go to his state of mind.
Well, I know, but it was all struck as hearsay on defense's
But
objection already.
he needs to make a legal objection. He hasn't made a legal objection. He just did a explanation, but it's a legal objection. What's your legal objection?
It was hearsay.
No, the hearsay is when somebody else, I'm asking him about his state of mind, Your Honor. Do you want me to rephrase the question? Please do. Okay. So you come home because your fiance called you, correct?
Correct.
Now, do you inquire to your fiance about any questions?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what questions did you ask your fiance?
What is she doing?
Okay, and at that point, she had never approached the house, correct?
Objection, lack of foundation.
Objection sustained.
Okay. Well, you asked your fiance, what was she doing, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And at that point, your fiance had not had any contact with Ms. Dean on that day, correct?
Objection, speculation.
No, I'm asking for the question, the actual question.
But you're asking for that.
No, he would have known because it would have been his state of mind about the conversation.
Wait, so what is the question again?
The question is, did your fiance say Ms. Dean had approached the house?
I answered that question.
Okay, so what was your answer to that?
I'm sorry, I also objected to that as hearsay. Again, she just asked, did your fiance say, et cetera?
Objection sustained.
So, your fiance, you come home because someone says that someone is parked on a public street, correct?
That's not correct.
So why did you come home?
I was on my way home from work.
You was on your way home from work, but you're on your way home earlier. So when you said that you got a phone call, because the prosecutor asked you, you got a phone call and you said you came home because of that. That's not true?
I didn't say I came home because of that.
Okay, so let's be truthful. You were already on your way home, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and you get a phone call, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now the phone call in no way is that Ms. Dean has threatened or harmed anyone, correct?
Correct.
And parking on a public street is not illegal, correct?
I wouldn't know.
To the best of your knowledge, parking on a public street is not illegal, correct?
I don't know that.
Okay. I said to the best of your knowledge. I know there's probably a lot of things you don't know, but the best of your knowledge, you don't know that, right?
I don't know that.
Okay. So why are you, and there's no, you and Ms. Dean are divorced at this time, correct?
Correct.
And there's no order or anything against you, like a protective order or anything against y'all two, correct?
There is not.
But at that time, sir, at that time, there was no PPO or anything, right?
Correct.
So Ms. Dean is this on a public street that she paid taxes at, and you're upset, correct?
Wrong. Lack of foundation.
No, the question is, he testified that she was on a public street and he paid taxes. There's nothing that I need a foundation for.
Judge, the witness testified that when he arrived home, she was not there when he initially arrived home, and I've already objected to any statements from the caller about where she was.
Objection sustained.
Okay, so at the time that you arrived home, Ms. Dean is not even there, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you pull into your driveway, correct?
Correct.
And what happened next?
I hear a car coming down the street.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What time of day does this take place?
Between 1:30 and 2 o'clock.
Okay. And what are the conditions outside? What are the weather conditions?
It's a clear day.
It's a clear day.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the lighting conditions?
Afternoon.
Okay, it's afternoon, so the sun is out.
Correct.
Okay, so you hear a car come down the street.
Correct.
Right? And what do you do?
I look up.
Okay. And what? What happens then?
Mrs. Dean pulls in front of my driveway. Rolls
Okay.
up.
Now, let me ask you, let me stop you here. Do you have your cell phone on you?
Yes.
And you never take your cell phone out to videotape her or anything?
No, I do not.
Okay. So she pulls up and she says what to you?
You better stop following me, motherfucker.
Okay. Had you been following her?
No.
Okay, so she just asked this one question out of nowhere.
Correct.
Okay. So she says that to you and she leaves.
No. She pulls a gun on me and points it at me.
Okay. Now, so she's on the street, correct?
She's in her car.
She's in her car on the street, correct?
Correct.
She never gets out the car, correct?
Correct.
And you are in your car and you never get out your car.
Correct.
So y'all are what? 10 feet away from each other?
About as close to me as you are right now.
Okay.
Don't back up.
So 10 feet? So this would be about 20 feet, correct? Between you and I.
I don't know how many feet that is, but I just said as close as you are to me right now.
Okay. So, and you're looking at her and she leaves, correct?
She pulls a gun on me.
And she leaves.
Points it at me. And says, motherfucker, you better stop following me.
Okay. And then what happens?
She takes off.
Okay. And then at this point, do you go inside your house or you do anything?
I go straight to the police station.
Okay, so you never go inside of your house or you leave right out after that?
I go straight to the police station.
The question is, you leave out right after that to go to the police station. It's a yes or no question, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in driving to the police station, do you see her car?
Yes.
So basically, you're following her car to the police station, correct?
No.
Okay, so let's back this up. You said that she pulls off, and then you say that you pull right off, correct? Wasn't that your testimony, sir?
Not right on.
Okay. So, but you pull off, correct?
Correct.
And you're on your way to the police station, correct?
Correct.
And what's your route to the police station that day?
The name of the street I live on is Nashville. Nashville to Gunston, right on Gunston. The police station is at the corner of Gunston and Gray.
Okay, and on your way going to the police station, did you see Miss Dean's car?
Several blocks in front of me.
Several blocks in front of you. So you're behind her car, correct?
Several blocks.
It's a yes or no question, sir. You're behind her car, correct?
I'm behind her car several blocks.
Okay. So basically, you are following her.
That is false.
Well, you're behind her, right? What in your definition is follow? You're behind her, correct? And you're driving.
Several blocks.
Okay. Several blocks behind her. So you get to the police station and you park your car, correct?
Not immediately.
Okay, what do you do immediately?
I pull in the driveway and police station. I see her jump out and run in the police station.
Okay. And at some point, do you park when you see her jump out and run, where's her car parked at?
She's still in the driveway at the police station. She's not in the parking spot.
Okay. And where's your car at?
I just pulled in the police station.
Okay. Right behind her?
No, I was several feet back.
Okay. And she gets out.
Right.
And what do you do?
Then I go park.
Okay. You and Ms. Dean have been divorced for how long?
I think it's June 4th, 2020.
So at the time that this happened, y'all have been divorced for how long?
It was official a couple of months.
So y'all have been just divorced for a couple of months?
It was separated since 2019.
Okay. And throughout the, between this time that y'all have been divorced, Ms. Dean had not called you or harassed you or anything, correct?
Since the time we've been divorced,
Before, at the time this happened, she hadn't, called, let me strike that question. During the divorce, you had to give up half of your pension, correct?
Objection.
It goes to motive, Your Honor. It goes to motive.
Objection sustained.
Were you happy with the, divorce settlement?
yes, I was.
Okay. No more questions of this witness.
Any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may exit the courtroom. Any further witnesses for the?
No further witnesses for the people, Your Honor.
Not in defense?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Is there a motion?
Your Honor, the people move for a bond over on all charges and reserve argument.
Your response?
Your Honor. Okay, so in this particular case, you have testimony that she's parked on a public street, not doing anything. Even if it's true she has the right to be on a public street, there's no PP order or anything. You have this long witness says that she pulls a gun on him, but he has a gun. He pulls a gun, he never takes out his phone to try to record it or anything. These facts are unbelievable because why would my client, if she's a wrongdoer, go to the police? She goes to the police, she has her gun there, you know, she's arrested. Clearly he was following her for her to have went to the police. I think that he does it probable cause, and I have explained this to my client, you just have to show that there was a crime committed, and pointing a gun at somebody is a crime and probable cause that you committed the crime. But I think that under these facts, what Mr. Dean testified to is unbelievable.
Your response?
Well, Your Honor, at first, I don't know that there was any admitted testimony about whether the defendant was sitting on a public street at any point. But beyond that, I think the testimony as far as the assault itself was very clear and consistent. Everything after that, I think is interesting and part of the case. However, it does happen after the alleged assault. So I think the people have met their burden here for the buying over on that count.
This is a probable cause here. And there has been testimony provided by the prosecution with regards to what happened on the date in question, November 4th, 2020. And the plaintiff witness clearly identified that the person that was the perpetrator was Ms. Dean, your client, Ms. Miracle. And the testimony, while apparently there may be some collateral issues surrounding it, the prosecution has made out their case by a probable cause standard to establish crimes were committed in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne, and that you, Ms. Dean, probably committed those crimes. That is the burden, probable cause at this phase. There is indeed a question of fact that needs to be determined by the fact finder. I am satisfied again that the prosecutor has met their burden. The matters will be bound over to the circuit court as charged. Counts 1 and 2, the felonies. Count 3, the misdemeanor, will travel along with the felonies. And the AOI date is going to be August, what is it going to be, the 30th? Yes. August 30th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'm right behind you, Ms. Lee. I will see you at 2:45,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Calling parties on Lewis. Case number 2159599. The people of the state of Michigan versus Randall James Lewis. The defendant is charged with count 1, home invasion, first degree. Count 2, stalking aggravated. Count 3, domestic violence. This is scheduled for probable cause conference.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Jacob Williams, people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Sarah Kraus, standing in for the attorney of record, Gabby Silver, for Mr. Lewis. I'm asking that his presence be waived this morning.
Okay, this is a matter set for exam or no?
It's a
probable
probable
cause.
cause.
Oh, okay, thank you. So ordered. Ms. Kraus, what's your pleasure here today?
Your Honor, at this time, we would like to set for in-person preliminary examination.
Okay, any concerns regarding the bond that might affect timing of exam?
No, there are no concerns from the people at this time, Judge, if people are satisfied. And I will, this is a second PCC and there have been no issues since that first one.
Thank you.
November 18th at 10 a.m.
Tammy, I hate to do this to you. Can we do that Monday? The
Yeah, let me go back.
15th?
Yeah, let me look real quick. The 15th at 10:30?
Perfect.
November 15th at 10:30 will be the in-person examination date, and we will see you then, or Ms. Silver.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome.
All right.
Is Mr. Haysha in the hallway?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I trouble you to get him?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have witnesses on Jordan. And are there witnesses on McClure?
Yes, sir.
Some of the witnesses are, nobody seems to know anything. Do you know if there's witnesses on your case?
I'm sorry.
Do you know if there's witnesses?
I don't think the police officers are here.
Okay. Were there witnesses
on the
on
record.
McClure? Witnesses on McClure?
No, there's no witness.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Haitian's on the record.
Oh, okay, so she'll be over to, okay, no problem. As soon as she comes back in, we'll call. Okay. I'm gonna stay in my lane. It's best.
No witnesses on either.
Okay. Calling parties on McClure. Case number 2062454. The people of the state of Michigan versus Keanu McClure. The defendant is charged with count 1, weapons, taser, possession, or sale of. This is scheduled for a preliminary exam.
Thank you, ma'am. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brene Bailey on behalf of the people, P84009.
And good morning, Your Honor. May it please this honorable court and your staff, Melvin Houston, P number 36280, appearing on behalf of Keanu McClure, who is present today in the courtroom, and we are prepared to proceed.
Please state your name. Keanu McClure. Thank you. Today is the date and time set for preliminary examination. Are we proceeding to an exam today?
People are unprepared to proceed to examination. Subpoenas were sent, Your Honor, and a reminder email was also sent last Friday, Your Honor, and the people received no response as to whether or not witnesses would be present.
Is there a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, there is, the defense asks the court to dismiss this matter against my client.
Okay, this matter was set for 11:30. It's currently 11:52, and the prosecution is unable to proceed at this time. As such, I'm going to grant to dismiss. The matter is dismissed without prejudice, which means it is possible that the prosecution can reissue this matter. If you have questions regarding that concept, please make sure that you confer with your attorney, and he will answer any questions you have in that regard. Do you have on a GPS tether that needs to be removed?
No.
Counsel, I do need your signature on this order of dismissal. I'm preparing it right now.
And for the record, I did submit a letter to the gun board dated January 8th of 2021. I have not received a response to that.
Well, it's a moot point now, isn't it?
It is, a very moot. But if they refile, we're just gonna go through that again. That's all.
I don't know if refiling happens if the gun board will be an option.
Okay.
I don't believe it is.
Why would she think of her opportunity to negotiate when the matter is dismissed because witnesses failed to appear?
I don't know, Your Honor, that's not my call, I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting to know.
Yeah, I probably would ask the court to at least consider the dismissal with prejudice. If you're gonna do it that way, it just makes no sense. It's not like we've done anything wrong.
Yeah, I don't understand the logic behind that.
Here you go.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Yep, we have a good day, stay safe.
All right, good stuff.
You can have the parties on Jordan, or if Mr. Haitian's out there.
Oh, Mr. Manus is left.
I don't know where he went to.
Mr. Manus left.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. There, it says 5 people are, oh no, that's even including, Randall. I got Randall coming in.
That's the one that Ms. Kraus just did.
Oh,
But Mr. Manus,
is this a Zoom exam, Mr. Haitian?
Judge, it was set for a live exam. Mr. Manus had a, 22nd of July, I just found out about this, was unable to secure any type of babysitters considering the circumstances. I was going to ask the court to allow him to proceed by way of Zoom this morning. And if that's an issue, I would beg the court, and I'll put this on the record for an adjournment so that he can be here. I'm okay proceeding with him on Zoom. I don't know, given how we're proceeding, that there's much I can do that I can't do with him here that I would be able to do if he were here.
That's true, but I'm not very interested in the hybrid.
I understand. I certainly understand.
If it were a hybrid where, I'm just not really interested in changing it like that, but what else do we have, Tammy, before we?
I wanted to do a quick dismissal, I think, if the, Mr. Glazer's in the hallway on Jordan.
Okay, let's call Jordan first and then we'll put a pin in David Manus right now.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Mr. Randall, your attorney appeared for you. Your next date is, I already entered it, but I don't remember what it was. November 15th, I believe at 10 a.m., but she will be contacting you. So you're all set, you can sign off.
I've been trying to contact her since I got this tether on my foot. I really been, like,
Yeah.
my phone
Okay.
broke. Can you, like,
I
give me a-
understand that you need to contact your attorney. I will send her an have her call you, okay?
All right.
Is your phone working?
Nah, my phone broke. I'm doing this off of my cousin's phone.
Okay, do you want me to give you your attorney's phone number? Do you have it?
Yeah, I want you to give me my attorney phone number. I'm about to type it. I'm gonna type it down right now.
Okay. All right, let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
You are Randall Lewis?
Yes.
Okay, so her phone number is 313
Uh-huh.
963
963
0210.
0210.
Okay?
Okay.
Richard? Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
We don't have the parties on Jordan?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Let's call.
Calling parties on Manus. Case number 2062119, the people of the state of Michigan versus David Deshaun Manus. The defendant is charged with count 1, weapons, firearms, possession by felon. Count 2, weapons, ammunition, possession by felon. Count 3, weapons carrying concealed. Count 4 and 5, weapons, felony, firearm. Habitual offender, third offense notice. This is scheduled for preliminary exam.
Thank you. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brene on behalf of the people, P840.
And Your Honor, good morning to you, your staff, Ms. Bailey. Ms. Page, I appear on behalf of Mr. Manus, who appears via Zoom. Your Honor, no objections on his part today. We remain interested to see where the court will go in terms of his non-appearance physically in court this morning.
Okay, well, today is the date and time set for an examination, an in-person examination. And although we have the good fortune of being able to conduct matters by way of Zoom, this matter was scheduled for an in-person examination. Let me just first ask, I think I already know the answer, but for the record, are there witnesses present on Manus?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This matter is going to need to be adjourned then. I'm not really comfortable with doing the hybrid brand of examination with defense counsel here and defendant on Zoom or vice versa. So I understand that there have been some complications that have arisen that have made it difficult for you to get here today, Mr. Manus. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am. And the paper that was sent out, I still have it. It says Zoom meeting. I never knew I was supposed to come in person.
Oh, no, this was set for an in-person examination. If the paperwork said it was a Zoom exam, that was done in error. It's an in-person examination set for today by way of my notations, and I only make that note if it's been expressed on the record.
I can show you the paper.
That won't be necessary this time. Your
Okay,
Honor. We did
okay, I'm sorry.
that in-person examination. I set that for an in-person examination with your staff. I communicated that and followed up with that. I don't believe that Mr. Manus is not here today because he willfully wanted to ignore any of the court's directives. I just do think that there was a lapse in communication on my part with him prior to Friday in confirming this. And then unfortunately on that type of notice, he wasn't able to make arrangements. And so I would fall on that sword to the extent possible, Your Honor.
Oh, and I understand that. I don't mean to indicate that I am penalizing you in any way, Mr. Manus. In fact, I'm happy that you made your presence known by way of Zoom, but that doesn't change the fact that we have defense counsel present inside of the courtroom and you on Zoom. Sometimes, although Zoom has been wonderful to get us through this pandemic, with Zoom exams, it sometimes leaves much to be desired. So what I'm going to do is grant an adjournment as opposed to proceeding forward with a Zoom exam. I'm going to, again, grant an adjournment so that you can make proper arrangements, childcare arrangements, and be in the same location as defense counsel. Seeing as though you are not in custody, and due to the nature of the allegations, this is not going to be a matter that we're going to be able to turn around in the next few weeks. Madam Clerk, what can we do?
Give me a month, Judge.
November.
November 22nd at 10:30.
That's not a problem.
Okay, so that date, Mr. Manus, we're going to need you here inside of the courthouse.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
November 22nd at 30. And congratulations on your new baby.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well,
Thank you, Your Honor. And thank you, Madam Prosecutor, for having your witnesses here. I apologize about the inconvenience.
oh, can you double check before we leave the record to make sure that doesn't conflict with any furlough?
Yes, ma'am.
I guess the Monday before.
Thanksgiving.
Do we have any more PCCs?
No, we do have one other exam, but I think it's a dismissal. I'm
The
just not
November
sure.
22nd date is good, Your Honor. They have no furloughs on that time, during that time.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, you can log off now, Mr. Manus. You're all set.
Okay, thank you.
We still have an exam. Dismissal, I just don't know where the attorney is at. He checked in and then I'm not sure where he went.
You want me to stand in? I can stand in.
I don't know if his client, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't. Is Mr. Mr. Glazier didn't say where he was going?
No.
The device that just logged in, can you identify yourself, please?
Oh. That's
The device that just logged in, can you identify yourself, please? Who are you?
odd.
I see your message in chat, but. Hello?
Report, I'm just letting you know that the chat needs to be turned off of YouTube. You can go through it and read it.
Hello? Jonathan Campbell, hello. I guess I hear what you're relaying to me, but I don't control the YouTube chat device. Did you have a question for the court? Oh, okay. He said that was all.
Oh, okay, yeah, because that's separate than this Zoom chat. I don't know how that works.